Thanks, Alekia. I have been willing to come back to the campus for 6 years now, and it feels really great to be amongst all the students again and to share my story. So Alekia has already briefed on my profile. I will not be sharing something, which is like a framework or an answer of matrix how to be a product manager. I would rather share what I did, which got me there. Might not work for everybody, but I'm sure if you follow the advice, it will surely help you accelerate your career. So let's start with what's the role of product manager versus head of product. A lot of people, including me when I was on the other side, were not very sure what each role entails. It takes a certain level of experience to really differentiate this is what a person does in a specific role. What is the difference between a brand manager, product manager, head of product? So let me just start with the very basics first. Um, a product manager is actually somebody who's assigned one product and is responsible to solve every problem related to that product. It can be related to execution, learning, relearning, and improving the product. It's generally a 12-month period horizon that it takes you to be a good product manager, and you are the one responsible for product metrics. There are always KPIs that you will be working upon, and these are the things that you are measured in your efficiency. A head of product is somebody who's responsible to check the synergies amongst different products across the portfolio. They are more at a strategic and scaling position. Okay, one product has proven itself. How do we scale the same product across geographies, across markets, or use the learnings from the same product and apply it across a different product on the portfolio? 2 to 5 years is generally the horizon it takes you to get into the head of product role. You are measured on P&L and business outcomes. Um, I'm going to brief upon who should choose a product career, precisely because when I was a candidate at IIM Indore, I was also this glittery-eyed girl who thought that PM role looks good on your CV and pays well, and rarely even thought why or should I even choose this career. So, initial first 3 years were really very difficult for me when I was in this career. I almost gave up umpteen number of times because it was very stressful. It was very difficult to enjoy the ambiguity that comes with the role. A lot of people are asking you why, how, numbers, logics, and you have to answer that all and keep empathy for the team working with you. You have to exert influence with logical explanation, and you don't have authority most of the times when you start out. So that is what a role typically looks like. I would request you not to choose this career if you really enjoy certainty to function better. If trade-offs and ambiguous choices make you uncomfortable, this might also not be the career for you. And if you're chasing titles and fast growth in your career without a lot of vigor and 3 AMs, this also might not be the career for you. Um, let's look at a typical career path before I really talk about my story. And I'm open to any questions if at all on the floor. A lot of us have this misconception that a product manager is somebody who's working on UI, UX, or doing the fancy things. We don't realize that the same title and the same role has a lot of different KPIs and day-to-day responsibilities involved depending on which category or which industry you are in. I was fortunate to experience different industries before I got into the product role. Even during I am Indore, I did the 5 year course, and across the 5 years, I was a serial intern, which meant that I had experienced packaging industry, I had experienced organic industry, I had experienced agrotech, I had experienced textiles. it made me understand how each industry is different. And then finally, I also experienced a tech app where I was working with a VC to, make pitch decks. So what that did for me was to help me understand that even though the title remains same, the job can be entirely different. So I want to categorize it into two main sections of product leadership. The FMCG path is quite different than that of the tech product path. Typically, in an FMCG setup, the first 3 years involve you to be deeply immersed in consumer insight work. They need you to understand what is the passion of a consumer, what is the expectation of a consumer from the product. You need to learn how to make the claims, how to make this believable, and how to integrate your product into the general lifestyle or behavior of your consumer. Then 3 years onwards, you start getting into brand manager. From an exec role, you start getting into the managerial role. Now, what happens in a managerial role? You need to start working on building your team. You own end-to-end launches, and hence you need to learn people management. You need to pressure test each claim and ad that you're working on, whether it's actually translating into the behavior that your team is claiming. Then 6 year onwards is when you start getting into the head of product category leader profiles, where you decide which SKUs to scale, which SKUs to kill, how to tweak the SKU to make it relevant for the existing portfolio. And then you start thinking in uh, ecosystem point of view rather than single-handed product or brand claim perspective. Now, how is it different from a tech product? In a tech product, you're not handling a product per se, you're handling a problem. Let's take the example of, let's take the example of Make My Trip. You're helping the user solve the problem of, making bookings easy. Then in that case, your objective is more from the perspective of UI, UX, setting the right metrics, testing them, and doing a lot of A/B testing, which may or may not be true for FMCG. The vocabularies are different, the tools that you use are different, the KPIs that you track are very different across a product versus a tech role. In a tech role, you see the growth from APM to PM happens faster. It takes 2 to 5 years, where in FMCG it takes a little longer to get into the senior product manager or senior brand manager, category manager roles. Again, the senior role is sort of still the same. However, the monetization and retention, loyalty programs, monetization programs become more important as a senior PM. 5 to 8 year onwards, you again do the same thing. Portfolio and platform decisions, you also start working on P&Ls and start owning the P&Ls 5 to 8 year onwards. Okay, so I will now share my story, how I got into the PM role before 30. And within 6 years, head of product. It took me 6 years, but I think my journey even started before those 6 years. It started right in the campus, where I used to be very curious about every life project that I've done. The mistake that we as students or professionals make is that we stick to the silo assigned to us. If I'm in sales, I'll do the sales work. Or if I'm in pre-placement committee, I will do that work. That's a big mistake because that makes you, sort of tunnel vision. You start sort of targeting your thoughts only in one direction. Therefore, I suggest if you are a student at the moment, try and do as many internships, live projects, researches with your professors as possible. This is the least stressful period in your journey ahead. I know it's difficult to be struggling with the case studies, the placement preparations and everything, but trust me, this is still the least stressful period of your career, and you should utilize it well. I will now share my story. I started with Bajaj Auto Limited in 2020 as a management trainee, and I had this PPO, and I was really unhappy that I am going to be in an automobile sector when I always wanted to work for an HUL or a L'Oreal, and to my dismay, that reroute that I got due to the PPO really set the tone for my career. I started with the marketing team of Bajaj Auto, where we were working on inquiry management and a product website, which helped me understand how does UI and UX work. Then my next project involved marketing for a commuter segment bike, and I got a fair exposure to how the marketing team at Bajaj Auto worked. I saw sports bikes, I saw the world of bikes, and then got exposed to Africa being a very important market for Bajaj at that time. And I landed an opportunity with a very famous noodles brand in Africa called Indomie. Now they have a very interesting story from product perspective. They were coming from Indonesia as a well-established noodles brand, and they launched in West Africa. And to their dismay, when the ad campaign was launched, when the product was launched, the slippery, slimy, white strands were perceived as worms by West Africans who were 40 years back unaware of the concept of instant noodles. Now, as a company which has always marketing their product, to show how the noodle strand is, what the color is, what the aroma is, the advertising, marketing, and product team had a big challenge as to how to make Africans consume instant noodles. So they did a lot of education, lot of product trials, and they started a school sampling program where they started feeding Indomie to kids. And cut to chase, now 20 years later, Indomie is the biggest household brand across West Africa, and it is the most penetrated product at a household level, which is a very big feat at for any FMCG brand. The next case I would like to talk about is Colgate. Now, Colgate has this very iconic ad where they have the two shells, the doctor strikes it against each other and shows that the shell which was brushed with Colgate didn't break. However, shell breaking metaphor did not strike well with Africans. They couldn't understand what the metaphor meant, and they started believing that Colgate actually makes your teeth weak. And when I joined Colgate team, I could see that no, Colgate was just a single digit brand. People didn't consider even buying the paste. There were a lot of market leaders at the time, and nobody even recalled Colgate as a brand. So we started researching, we started understanding the consumer psyche, we started understanding the perceptions and launched a new TVC. And in that TVC, I understood what is the role of a product manager in an FMCG scenario. A product manager is interchangeable with a brand manager, brand lead, or a consumer insights lead, because in FMCG, product once built stays forever. The packaging lines, the product claims, the colors, brand perception, it remains the same. So in FMCG, product manager is equivalent to a brand manager, even though you might also get the product head titles in slightly digital oriented organizations or Q-commerce organizations where the brand manager portfolio or the category manager portfolio still exists. So that's just one key thing that you can understand from what the role entails. Now, why did I grow fast? I was part of the Colgate team, and I still had that disconnect that I wanted to work in a tech oriented setup, and I'm still managing the traditional ATL, BTL kind of a section of the brand. That's when we came up with the idea of AI dentist. I'm very proud to share that here with all of you today that we were actually The idea started from a marketing campaign. At the time, we were doing school-led dentist programs. A dentist would go to the school, check the teeth of the child, check, okay, you have cavities, you should start using Colgate. And it was a whole long drawn process. It was very operational heavy, was very costly. So we were looking for a way to cut costs and to increase the scalability of the marketing campaign and awareness campaign to teach people how to do the right brushing, what product to use. And at that time, we came up with the idea of using WhatsApp as it was the most penetrated social media platform in West Africa at the time. And we realized that if we use AI imaging, we can even empower every consumer to check their own dental hygiene, to derive learnings without having to go to a dentist. There was another problem in Nigeria at that time. A lot of dentists there was an issue of brain drain. Everybody who gets educated wants to move out of the country, and hence there was a dearth of dentists. Technically, there should be a 1 to 2000 ratio. Each dentist should be covering 2000 patients in a geography. However, in Nigeria at that time, it was 1 to 35,000. Therefore, the reach, the affordability of going to a dentist did not exist. So we came up with this idea. Let's give free dental checkups over WhatsApp using AI imaging without involving any dentist and making access to dental hygiene and dental security easy for every Nigerian. And I'm happy to share that this idea has scaled for Colgate from a short small team of Nigeria to now across the globe. Even India is running the oral health campaign at the moment, and it makes me really happy that one small idea has scaled globally, and that one small idea helped me grow my career into head of product role because it helped me prove that I can not only think from a single product perspective, I can also help the organization grow in a scalable fashion and collect data, reach to people with the right education, and do it all without having to break the back of the operations team to contact dentists and go on ground. So that's just one success story. But I think the roots of that story lie in the grounding of understanding what product and what consumer synergies lie in your market. Don't think global. If you're working with a global brand, try to localize it. If you're working with a national brand, try to regionalize it based on which region are you working in. Because even in India, there's a lot of diversity. There's a lot of difference in food habits and cultural habits. So yes. The case of Colgate I've already spoken about. Coming to my current organization, which is called Lush Hair. It's a relevant brand in Africa, but for you Indians, maybe if I were to give some perspective, there are two brands, global brands, Lush Hair and Godrej Darling, which actually ran so Niche Hair could walk. So Lush Hair is actually an artificial synthetic hair extensions brand, which works towards educating Africans how to take care of their natural hair, how to braid their hair, what kind of wigs to use. And now we are also expanding into a full-blown hair care regime where we this year will be launching 10 new products across shampoos, conditioners, hair foods, and leave-in conditioners segment. So my journey has taught me if you really stay foolish and you stay hungry, your career will reward you. Don't chase titles. Chase such a in-depth understanding of your work, such a rigor for your work that your bosses are forced to promote you and give you bigger platforms, bigger products to solve the problems for. Um, just last but not the least, a lot of people still are not able to differentiate between product manager and role in FMCG and tech. The repercussions for both role differ a lot. In FMCG, every change costs really highly. Let me give you a very basic example. Let's say if I make you the product manager for Dove as a brand today, and you say that I want to change the top symbol above Dove from golden to blue. The whole organization will have to change the packaging material, the dye lines, the assembly lines, the suppliers, and it's got a very high cost. So every small tweak that you make as a brand manager in an FMCG setup has a really high implication of the P&L. Because the system is so long and there's such a long backward integration required, the feedback loop is slow. So if there's a problem with the packaging line and you need it fixed, it will take somebody to fix the dye line. It will take somebody to change the color. It will take somebody to change the material of the packaging if you want to bring any small changes to the product. Like I explained, if you fail, if you make a small error, it happened with me in Colgate once. On the backer side, we were supposed to add an association symbol, and the color of the symbol, the logo was wrong. What ended up happening was there was a $3 million expense that would be incurred to fix that gap. So we had to find shortcuts so that the company doesn't lose out on the money. And it was a big learning for me that every small skip on a detail is very expensive and failures are not affordable. For tech, iterations come very cheap. Coming back to make my trip example, if you want to change a button, if you want to change the page that comes to the click, you can change everything. Feedback loop is very fast. You can do A/B testing. You can check what kind of page traffic is changing based on small changes in the UI or UX, and feedback is very fast to get. In tech, failure leads to learning. Failure leads to learning in FMCG as well, but it leads to learning after a little bit of a traumatic period. For all of you who are on this call, I would encourage you to start your PM journey today. You need to start thinking like a product manager. If you want to be in tech, any app that you're using, break it down into four key pillars. First, start with attention. See how the app grabs attention. What platforms are they using to onboard or attract new user? How are they doing consumer acquisition, customer acquisition? So that's the attention segment. Once they have acquired the customer, how are they onboarding the customer? How is the app download process? How many pages do you have to go through before you enter your email ID, enter your phone number, enter the OTP, do the connection, and your own onboarding is done? Check how the app is trying to retain you, how many push notifications you're getting, how many offers or loyalty schemes are you getting in the push notifications so as for the app to call you back or to retain you on that app. A lot of shopping apps work very high on a very high pressure environment for retention. You must be seeing all these Mintras and Amazon sending you emails, sending you, there will be email notification, there will be push notification, there will be retargeting across social media. So see how the app that you have selected is working on retention. The last and the most important bit is for you to understand what is the way for these app to monetize your traffic. A shopping app can monetize not only by the way that you are buying products from them, they also monetize via all the brands that are selling on the platform. A good example would be Agio. Agio has a lot of title sponsors who have even created a separate icon for Agio looks or Tata Click looks or Mintra fashion. All these brands pay high bucks to get their logo seen, to get their banner seen, to get their promos seen, and all of this is a way for the app to monetize itself. I encourage this loop that I'm sharing here. You replicate across at least 2 to 3 apps so that your learning is solid. And next time you sit for an interview for a tech PM role, you can cite those examples to show that you're not just sitting for the sake of wanting to learn, you're also already paying attention to what's on the market and how you can improve it or do a better job than the existing app. Now, for an FMCG product head, I would encourage you to pick a few different products across different categories. Maybe pick food, something in the skincare or personal care, or something in beauty and fashion. For the three products that you pick, first of all, look at how they grab attention, what kind of ads they are running, what kind of taglines they are using, what kind of claims are they using. Then you check 360 funnels. A lot of us don't understand what a 360 funnel is. Let me take the example of Colgate that I have worked for. Colgate had the claim in West Africa that it's the world's best toothpaste. Now, for that claim, the marketing team would first go to a significant chunk of dentists to actually get their recommendation to say that this is recommended by a dentist. Once the dentist recommendations are in place and the sales of the brand is coming, is when you can actually get to the claim of saying this is the world's best toothpaste. As a B school student and a future PM, you should analyze if a brand is saying number one selling soap or kills 99.99% germs. What is it that the brand has done to put that claim up there? What went into putting that claim up there? A lot of, let me take example of hair. If there are any people, hair or shaving creams, they have hair creams, maybe let's say a curl cream would say this will make your hair 2x glossier, will help you make your curls stay 3x longer. Works on 5 damages at once, a shampoo might say. I would encourage you to read the labels and see what clinical testing was done to put that claim up there. Then next thing you should check is that same claim being utilized across their advertising? Is the TV campaign saying the same thing? Is their influencer on Instagram or TikTok saying the same thing? Then check, are they doing any mall or supermarket activations where they might have a gondola or a shelf display designed? Is the shelf display also saying the same thing? When you analyze things at that level, you are already ready to be a PM because you have then started looking at the details of things. And when you are given a product, you're already ready to hit the ground running because you know what it takes to put that single line up there. All of this will help you build judgment, will help you practice killing random ideas. Oh, I could always go up there and write Lush is world's best hair extension brand, but I can't do that. I need to learn how to kill ideas that are not relevant and that don't help us convince the consumer to buy the product. This judgment also helps you explain each and every decision you take and helps you also decide the direction of decisions that you want to go into. Well, this is a very important thing for us to see. Situations like mine are not very often, they are rare. So we need to understand why is it that the majority doesn't get product head roles early. Of course, chasing title and not the vigor of work is one. A lot of people get slowed down because they are staying too long in safe roles. Now, what are safe roles? Um, I'll take my example again. I was handling a very good portfolio. I was working for a global brand. I was getting recognition at Colgate. There was no reason for me to stay. There was no reason for me to not stay in Colgate. But I realized early that I've already spent 2 years in the organization, and I sort of started feeling like I don't have enough competition in terms of peers around me. I started feeling like I was staying there because I felt stay safe. I felt somebody who can't be harmed, can't be fired, and will have a short chance at senior roles because I have done something great. But it was very soon that I also realized that despite all of this, I had already peaked my learning curve in that organization and geography at the time. Therefore, I decided to move to a lesser known startup oriented product, which also helped me get exposure to a new category, get exposure to a new geography and a country. So, it's very important to find that fine line between safe versus comfortable. Don't stay too long. If you have peaked your learning, start looking for other opportunities and move up. A lot of people are talented, learning, growing. They don't grow because they are not able to command visibility in the corporate circles. They avoid people management and they avoid being vocal about what they have done. I would encourage you, if you have done something, try to build visibility for yourself, try to build a LinkedIn profile, try to build good networks for yourself. That's something that comes in really handy for your career growth. A lot of people, despite having all the good ingredients, also don't grow because they don't have numbers on the top of their head. They don't know how to say the right numbers, how to prioritize what to show, what not to show. They'll either fill the whole slide with 10 graphs or keep something which is not good enough to uh, build credibility for what they have achieved. So try to learn how to strike the right balance with respect to quantitative and qualitative achievements, even when you're presenting internally to your bosses or to your teams down the line. Um, the last but the most important is not being able to build a point of view. Now, what that means is not having any judgment. A lot of people enter into big interviews like that of L'Oreal and HUL, and the interviewer will ask you, okay, tell us which is your favorite ad campaign or favorite product. Or even in a tech interview, tell me which is your favorite application. They will blurt something out, but they will lack their own point of view or analysis on that product. They will not have any solutions or ways to do better for the existing business, which kills your credibility in the interview, which kills your credibility at your existing workplace. Therefore, it's very important to have an individual point of view and judgment on your other products in the category or competitive landscape. And you can only build this point of view if you start observing. No, chat GPT will help you in situations where you are in a boardroom and you're supposed to share your observations on a presentation being made by your team. You can only do that when you make conscious efforts to observe the products around you and have notes in your mind running. Okay, this product, we could have done this to do better or sell more or make it more visible, make it more interesting, so on and so forth. My last thought, I think product managers and marketers always arrive with the mindset and attention to relevant details. A corporate environment is seldom able to create or promote one. So start today if you are interested in PM. Your campus is where your learning ground begins. Thank you so much. I'm open to any questions.
Thank you so much, Deksha. I have one question. For preparing for the interviews for the product role, what is something that you would suggest that a person should always keep in mind, like something that we should not miss?
Um, I think it depends on organization which you are applying for, but the most important thing when you're applying for a PM role is to analyze what is it that you can bring to the table. I have been on the recruiting side of things now, and a lot of candidates come where they don't know how I will be an asset to the team. They have all the bookish knowledge, they have all the, you know, very rosy picture of how the work looks like, but they don't have the real picture idea of what the work entails. So if you're appearing for an interview and you know which organization it is, always connect to existing employees there using LinkedIn or your alumni network and understand what the work entails. That's number one. Number two, if you know what product you're going to be working on, always do your homework first. If it's an app, use the app consistently at least for a week before you appear for the interview so you know which features can be tweaked and how can the UI user experience be better. Third, if you are doing a general preparation for interviews, I think keep your eyes and ears open to things that excite you or build interest in you. Because if you analyze those things, the real success factors or real success principles are hidden in those products. What is it that this company did to gauge my attention, to capture my attention? That's where you will get a lot of good insights before you appear for your interviews.
Yeah, thank you. If anyone has a question, they can like go forward, ask.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah, sharing.
All right. Hello. So this is great, so insightful. My question, I guess, was if I am to study PM a little more and I want to look at books that actually um, maybe analyze products in the way that you just explained, do you have any recommendations?
I would rather say stay away from books as much as possible because uh, PM especially is that one role which can only be learned by experience and practical knowledge. What will happen and end up being worse for you in an interview would be you wouldn't have experienced the product, read somebody's second-hand ideas, and won't be able to answer any cross questioning. So I would suggest if it's about a PM role, try to experience and analyze applications as much as possible rather than sticking to bookish knowledge. I'm sure Indore is giving you enough case studies and books to read that you don't need to add on one more. That's the
Okay.
way it worked for me. I'm sure it's different for everybody, but that's my honest feedback.
So valid. Thank you so much.
One more question. Like basically a lot of product management roles, they already need prior experience, like in the product itself. So, how do we make sure our transition goes the right way? Like how to stand out so that like,
That's a very important question, and thank you for asking that. Let me So I think the first thing that you should do is utilize your time in the college at the moment. I'm not sure if you heard me say I was actually a serial intern, which basically meant that every trimester I was working on one live project or the other because I was so worried that I will not be able to break into the role because I don't have the experience. And I really do relate to that anxiety as well. What you need to be doing, first of all, is to find professors or find alumni who are building startups. That's the most short way to crack into those roles. You can show experience as you are studying at IIM Indore by working for them or supporting them in some real world problems that these founders are already fixing. So that's one way that you can do that. The other way that you can do is actually try and build something small in the college itself. I remember when I was in college, I started um, a food joint with the e-cell, and I was really proud of that. And that one a small experience helped me crack a lot of interviews going forward because it gave me some experience on how to manage people, what do operations look like in a startup, what are the complexities of create starting your own business, so on and so forth. So try to do something small of your own. There was a senior in college at that point who had started Espresso Mat. I'm not sure if it exists anymore. It was actually this laundry service and a small website where you could book laundry for yourself. And that guy also ended up, starting his own startup later on and got into a good organization as well. So I think trying on your own and supporting somebody and investing your time helps you show some credible experience. I also want to clarify for all of us here. Now that I'm on the recruiting side as well, I now understand why organizations are looking for experienced candidates. It's not the years of experience, oh, I worked in so and so organization that counts. What counts is that you know what is the requirement or how does the work actually look like that makes you more efficient at your job. It's not about me flaunting, oh, I have worked for so many years before I did my MBA. It's more about flaunting, I possess these skills which are an asset to your organization, and all recruiters actually recognize that when they are filtering your CVs, even by ATS, even the ATS recognizes the right keywords for the role, that okay, this person is sort of in the same zone, has worked in a similar setup, and can take care of the work for us. It's more about building reliability, perception of reliability and credibility from your CV, less about the years of experience. So do the projects and get the right keywords on your profile. I think you will be sorted.
Okay, thank you. If there are any further questions, you can go forward. Okay. If there are no further questions, we'll close the talk. On behalf of the Alumni Committee, I would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to Ms. Deksha Gupta for joining us today and sharing her inspiring journey. Your insights into early leadership, product strategy, and product management have been very insightful and motivating for all of us. A sincere thank you to Professor Manish Popli, Chair Alumni Affairs, for his continued support, and to Alumni Office for their efforts in making this session possible. And of course, a big thank you to the audience. We look forward to seeing you again for the next session of the Wisdom, the Alumni Talk Series. Thank you so much, Diksha.
Thank you. Thanks everyone. Wishing you the best.